If you were born in any of these 3 months, stop everything you're doing right now, because what I'm about to share with you is not a coincidence. Archangel Michael himself has appeared in the dreams of those born in March, June, and September, and he's left an urgent warning that cannot be ignored any longer. You have less than 30 seconds to decide if you're going to listen to what the heavens are desperately trying to tell you, or if you're going to let this moment slip through your fingers like so many others before. If this message is finding you right now, in this exact moment of your life, it's because your soul already knows something is shifting, something powerful, something that will change everything. And if you feel that pull in your chest, that knowing that you were meant to see this, then show the universe you're paying attention by gently pressing that like button right now, because this is your confirmation that you are exactly where you need to be. There are no accidents in the spiritual realm. Every single person who clicks on a video, who stumbles upon a message, who feels drawn to certain words or images, is being guided by forces far greater than coincidence. And today, Archangel Michael, the mighty protector, the warrior of light, the divine messenger who stands between heaven and earth, has a warning specifically for those of you born in March, June, and September. Now, before you think this doesn't apply to you, before you close this video or scroll away, I need you to understand something crucial. Even if you weren't born in these months, someone you love was, someone you're meant to protect, someone whose path is intertwined with yours. And the message Archangel Michael is delivering right now will make sense in ways you cannot yet imagine. So stay with me, stay present, because what unfolds in the next few minutes will answer questions you've been asking the universe for months, maybe even years. Archangel Michael doesn't appear in dreams lightly. He doesn't deliver warnings without profound reason. When he shows up, when he breaks through the veil between the spiritual and physical worlds, it's because something monumental is approaching, something that will test your faith, challenge your strength, and ultimately reveal who you truly are beneath all the masks, all the pain, all the fear you've been carrying. And for those born in March, June, and September, this moment has been written in the stars since before you took your first breath. Your birth months are not random. They are cosmically aligned with specific spiritual frequencies, with particular lessons, with divine assignments that only you can fulfill. March, the month of awakening, when winter surrenders to spring and life begins again. June, the month of illumination, when light reaches its peak and truth can no longer hide in shadows. September, the month of harvest, when souls reap what they've sown and prepare for transformation. Each of these months carries a sacred vibration, and if you were born during any of them, you are being called forward right now for a reason that will soon become crystal clear. But let me tell you what Archangel Michael showed in these dreams, because the details matter. The people who've been experiencing these visions have described the same scene, the same presence, the same overwhelming sense of urgency. They see him standing at the edge of a great cliff, his wings spread wide, his sword of light blazing with blue and silver flames. Behind him, the sky is divided. On one side, there's darkness, storms, chaos swirling like a tornado of confusion and fear. On the other side, there's pure golden light, peace, clarity, everything you've ever wanted flowing like a river, divine grace. And Archangel Michael stands right at that boundary, right at the edge, looking directly at you, not past you, not around you, at you, into your soul. And he speaks. His voice doesn't come through your ears. It comes through your entire being, vibrating through every cell, every thought, every memory. And he says this. He says your name, and then he says something that makes your heart stop. He says, the time of choosing is upon you. You cannot walk both paths. You cannot serve two masters. The old life, the old patterns, the old agreements are ending. What you choose in the next few weeks will determine the next decade of your existence. Choose wisely. Choose with your soul, not your fear. Now, if you're feeling chills right now, if you're feeling that tingling sensation up your spine or that warmth in your chest, that's confirmation. That's Archangel Michael confirming that yes, this message is for you. That yes, you are being called to make a decision that you've been avoiding. A decision about a relationship, a decision about your career, a decision about where you live, who you trust, what you believe about yourself. And the reason this warning is so urgent, the reason it cannot wait another day, is because there's a cosmic window opening right now, a portal of opportunity that only appears once every several years. And for those born in March, June, and September, this window is specifically aligned with your soul's blueprint. If you step through it, if you make the brave choice, the aligned choice, everything you've been praying for begins to manifest. But if you hesitate, if you let fear or doubt or other people's opinions keep you stuck, this window will close, and you'll spend the next few years wondering what could have been, feeling that ache of a life not fully lived. And if you're feeling the weight of that truth right now, if you're realizing that yes, you've been hesitating, yes, you've been playing small, then type the words, "I am ready" in the comments below, because that simple act of declaration sends a signal to the universe that you're done hiding, you're done waiting, you're done letting fear run your life. Let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah was born in March, and 3 months ago, she started having the same dream every single night. She'd wake up at 3:33 in the morning, drenched in sweat, with the image of Archangel Michael burned into her mind. She didn't understand it at first. She'd never been particularly spiritual, never paid attention to angels or signs or any of that. But the dreams were so vivid, so real, that she couldn't ignore them. And in every dream, Archangel Michael would point to a door, just a simple wooden door, standing alone in the middle of a vast, empty space. And he'd say, "Walk through it, or stay in the prison you built." Sarah didn't know what it meant. She had a good job, a stable relationship, a nice apartment. From the outside, her life looked fine, but inside, she was dying. She was suffocating under the weight of expectations, of trying to be who everyone else needed her to be, of silencing her own voice, her own dreams, her own soul's calling. And that door represented everything she was too scared to claim. Freedom, authenticity, the life she actually wanted, not the life she thought she was supposed to want. And one morning, after another sleepless night, after another dream where Archangel Michael's presence felt almost unbearably intense, Sarah made a choice. She quit her job. She ended her relationship. She moved to a different city where nobody knew her, where she could reinvent herself, where she could finally be who she came here to be. And within 6 months, everything changed. She started her own business, doing work that actually mattered to her. She met someone who saw her, truly saw her, and loved her for exactly who she was. She woke up every morning feeling alive, feeling purposeful, feeling like herself for the first time in years. And she told me, with tears streaming down her face, that if she hadn't listened to that warning, if she hadn't walked through that door, she would have stayed trapped forever, slowly fading away until there was nothing left of the real her. That's what Archangel Michael is trying to save you from. That slow death of the soul. That gradual dimming of your light. That quiet resignation where you convince yourself that this is just how life is. That you're being realistic. That you should be grateful for what you have even though it's killing you from the inside out. He sees you. He sees the real you. The soul beneath the survival mechanisms. Beneath the armor. Beneath the fake smile you perfected. And he's saying enough. Enough pretending. Enough shrinking. Enough betraying yourself to make other people comfortable. The time has come to step into your true power, your true purpose, the life your soul agreed to before you were born. And if you were born in June, this message carries an additional layer. June babies, you're the light holders, the truth speakers, the ones who came here to illuminate what others cannot or will not see. Your birth month aligns with the summer solstice, with maximum light, with revelation and exposure. And Archangel Michael's warning to you is this. You've been hiding your light. You've been dimming yourself. You've been playing small because somewhere along the way, someone made you feel like your brightness was too much, like your truth was threatening, like your gift was somehow wrong or dangerous or selfish. And you believe them. You internalize that lie. And you've spent years, maybe decades, trying to fit into boxes that were never meant to contain you. But that chapter is over. Archangel Michael is cutting the cords, breaking the chains, removing every block that's been keeping you in the shadows. And what's about to happen is this. Your light is going to burst forth whether you're ready or not. The truth you've been carrying is going to demand to be spoken. The gifts you've been suppressing are going to push their way to the surface. And you can either resist it Fight it. Try to shove it all back down. Or you can surrender to it. Trust it. Let yourself be the beacon you came here to be. And I know that's scary. I know it feels vulnerable and exposing and like everyone's going to judge you or reject you or think you've lost your mind. But here's what Archangel Michael wants you to understand. The people who are meant for you, the ones who are aligned with your soul's path, will be drawn to your light like moths to a flame. They've been waiting for you. They've been searching for you. And when you finally show up as your authentic self, when you finally speak your truth and share your gifts and let yourself be seen, those people find you. And the ones who judge you, the ones who try to dim you, the ones who get uncomfortable with your expansion, they were never your people anyway. They were only there to teach you the lesson of self-abandonment versus self-honoring. And now that lesson is complete. If this is resonating deeply, if you're feeling that pull to finally step into your light, right? I shine in the comments because that declaration activates the support of Archangel Michael and all the angels who are waiting to help you rise. Now, for those of you born in September, your warning is different but equally urgent. September, the month of harvest, the month when summer transitions to autumn, when nature shows us that letting go is not death but transformation. You're the alchemists, the transformers, the phoenixes who know how to die and be reborn over and over again. Your soul chose September because you came here to master the art of release, of surrender, of trusting the cycles of death and rebirth that are essential to spiritual evolution. And Archangel Michael's message to you is this. You're holding on to something that's already dead, a relationship that ended long ago even though you're still physically together, a version of yourself that no longer exists even though you keep trying to resurrect it, a dream that was beautiful once but has run its course, and your refusal to let it go is blocking everything new that's trying to come in. September babies. You know in your bones that transformation requires release. You know that you cannot grow new fruit while still clinging to last season's harvest. You know that the caterpillar must dissolve completely in the cocoon before the butterfly can emerge. You know all of this intellectually, but emotionally you're terrified. Terrified of a void. Terrified of the unknown. Terrified that if you let go of what you have, even though it's not working, you'll end up with nothing. And so you hold on. You grip tighter. You try to force life into something that's already composting. And it's exhausting you. It's draining your life force. It's keeping you stuck in a perpetual state of almost, of not quite, of waiting for something to change while refusing to be the one who initiates that change. And here's what Archangel Michael is showing you in the spiritual realm. He's showing you a tree in autumn, branches heavy with dead leaves that are brown and brittle and no longer serving any purpose. And the tree is trying desperately to hold on to those leaves, even though they're literally weighing it down, even though winter is coming and the tree needs to conserve its energy, even though those leaves are blocking the light that the tree needs to survive. And Archangel Michael asks the tree, "Why are you holding on?" And the tree says, "Because I'm afraid that if I let go, I'll be naked, vulnerable, exposed. I'm afraid people will see me as less than. I'm afraid I'll be ugly without my leaves." And Archangel Michael, in his infinite wisdom and compassion, says, "But don't you see? Your leaves are already dead. They're not protecting you. They're suffocating you. And underneath them, your branches are strong and beautiful and ready to rest, ready to restore, ready to prepare for the most magnificent spring you've ever experienced. But that spring cannot come while you're still clinging to autumn. Let go. Trust the cycle. Trust your own resilience. Trust that what's meant for you will find you when you create space for it. And that's your warning, September souls. That's your call. Let go of what's dead so that what's alive can finally breathe. And I need to tell you something that Archangel Michael specifically emphasized about all three of these birth months. He said that March, June, and September are power months, portal months, months when the veil between worlds is naturally thinner, and souls born during these times have enhanced spiritual sensitivity, stronger intuition, deeper connection to the angelic realm. And because of that enhanced connection, you're also more susceptible to spiritual warfare, to energetic attacks, to forces that want to keep you small and scared and disconnected from your power. That's why Archangel Michael is stepping in right now with such urgency. He's not just delivering a message, he's offering protection. He's standing guard over your energy field, your dreams, your path forward. He's clearing away the darkness that's been clouding your judgment, whispering doubt in your ear, making you question everything you know to be true in your soul. And this protection is most active when you acknowledge it, when you invite it in, when you consciously say yes to divine support. So right now, wherever you are, place your hand over your heart and say out loud or in your mind, Archangel Michael, I accept your protection. I accept your guidance. I accept your warning. Show me what I need to see. Give me the courage to do what I need to do. I am ready to walk through the door, to shine my light, to let go of what's dead. I trust you. I trust myself. I trust the divine plan. And so it is. And as you speak those words, feel the shift. Feel the energy change. Feel the presence of something greater than yourself wrapping around you like wings of light, holding you, supporting you, reminding you that you are never alone, that you are always loved, that you are here for a reason that matters more than you can possibly comprehend. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen in the coming weeks if you heed this warning, if you take action on what your soul already knows. First, you're going to experience what I call divine disruption. Things that were stable might suddenly become unstable. People who were constants might suddenly exit. Plans you were certain about might suddenly fall apart. And your ego is going to panic. Your mind is going to scream that something's wrong, that you made a mistake, that you should have stayed in the old, safe, familiar patterns. But I need you to understand that this disruption is not punishment, it's clearing. It's the universe removing what's no longer in alignment, so that what is aligned can enter. It's Archangel Michael wielding his sword of truth and cutting away everything false, everything forced, everything that's been blocking your blessings. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it might feel like your entire life is falling apart. But on the other side of this dismantling is a rebuilding so beautiful, so aligned, so overflow with grace that you look back on this moment and weep with gratitude that you trusted the process instead of fighting it. Second, you're going to start seeing the numbers 333 and 444 everywhere. On clocks, on receipts, on license plates, in random places that make you stop and smile, because you know it's not coincidence. It's confirmation. 333 is Archangel Michael's number, his signature, his way of saying I'm here. I'm with you. Keep going, you're on the right path. And 444 is the number of foundation, of building, of the angels surrounding you with support as you construct your new life. When you see these numbers, pause for a moment. Say thank you. Acknowledge the sign. Let yourself feel held by forces beyond the physical. Because these numbers are breadcrumbs, spiritual GPS coordinates guiding you toward your destiny. And the more you notice them, the more you acknowledge them, the stronger the communication becomes, the clearer the guidance gets. Third, you're going to experience a surge of creative energy unlike anything you felt in years, maybe ever. Ideas are going to flood your mind. Visions of what's possible are going to interrupt your sleep. You're going to feel this unstoppable urge to create, to build, to express, to bring something new into the world. And this is not random. This is divine inspiration. This is your soul remembering why it came here. This is the universe downloading instructions, blueprints, missions that only you can carry out. And your job is not to question it, not to overthink it, not to wonder if you're qualified or ready or good enough. Your job is to act on it, to take the first step, then the next, then the next, to trust that the path will reveal itself as you walk it, to understand that you don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step. And Archangel Michael will be there at every turn, every obstacle, every moment of doubt, reminding you who you are and what you came here to do. And fourth, relationships are going to shift dramatically. Some people are going to suddenly distance themselves from you without explanation, and it's going to hurt. It's going to feel like rejection or betrayal or proof that you're somehow too much or not enough. But what's really happening is that your frequency is rising, your vibration is shifting, and not everyone can match it. Not everyone is meant to. Some souls came into your life to teach you specific lessons, and once those lessons are learned, their role is complete. Holding on to them, trying to force connection that's no longer flowing naturally, only delays both of your journeys. So when people start falling away, bless them. Thank them for what they brought to your life, and release them with love. Trust that the space they're leaving is creating room for soul family, for aligned partnerships, for relationships that celebrate who you're becoming instead of mourning who you used to be. And at the same time, new people are going to enter your life in the most unexpected, magical ways. Someone's going to say exactly what you needed to hear. Someone's going to offer an opportunity that changes everything. Someone's going to see you, really see you, and reflect back your worth in a way that heals years of self-doubt. These are your people. These are the ones you've been calling in consciously or unconsciously. And they're showing up now because you're finally ready to receive them. Let me also tell you about Marcus, who was born in June, because his story will help you understand the magnitude of what's at stake when you ignore Archangel Michael's warnings. Marcus was a successful lawyer, well-respected, financially secure, living what everyone around him considered an enviable life. But inside, he was drowning. He'd been having the same dream for 8 months straight, the dream where Archangel Michael appeared at the foot of his bed, wings blazing with celestial fire, pointing to a canvas and paintbrushes. And in the dream, Archangel Michael would say, "This is your truth. This is your gift. This is what you came here to share with the world." But Marcus would wake up and dismiss it, rationalize it away, convince himself it was just stress or too much work or his subconscious playing tricks on him. Because Marcus had been an artist once, years ago, before law school, before he chose a safe path, the path his parents approved of, the path that made logical sense. He'd locked that part of himself away so completely that he'd almost forgotten it existed. Almost. But the soul never forgets. And Archangel Michael never stops calling. For 8 months, Marcus ignored the dreams. He buried himself deeper in his work, took on more cases, stayed at the office later, did everything he could to drown out that persistent voice in his soul that kept whispering, "This isn't your life. This isn't why you're here." And then one morning, everything changed. Marcus woke up and couldn't move his right hand, completely paralyzed. No medical explanation. Every test came back normal. The doctors were baffled. But spiritually, the message was crystal clear. The universe was forcing him to stop, forcing him to listen. Because when we ignore the whispers, when we dismiss the signs, when we refuse to honor our soul's calling, the universe has no choice but to speak louder. And sometimes that louder message comes in the form of physical breakdown, of our bodies literally refusing to continue down a path that's killing our spirit. Marcus spent 3 months in physical therapy, 3 months unable to work, 3 months with nothing but time to sit with himself, and finally faced the truth he'd been running from his entire adult life. And during those 3 months, he started painting again, with his left hand at first, clumsy and frustrating, and nothing like his old work. But he painted, he created, he let himself feel again, and slowly, miraculously, feeling returned to his right hand. Not because of any medical intervention, but because his soul could finally breathe. Today, Marcus owns a small art studio. He makes a fraction of what he made as a lawyer. His parents still don't understand his choice. Some of his old colleagues think he had a breakdown. But Marcus will tell you, with absolute certainty, that he's never been more alive, more at peace, more aligned with his purpose. He'll tell you that those 8 months of ignored warnings nearly cost him everything, that the paralysis was actually a gift, a divine intervention that saved his life. And he'll tell you that if you're receiving a warning from Archangel Michael right now, if something in your soul is screaming for change, do not wait for the universe to force your hand. Do not wait for the breakdown, the crisis, the moment when you have no choice left. Choose now. Choose while you still have the power to choose. Choose before the decision is made for you in ways that are far more painful than necessary. And this brings me to something crucial that Archangel Michael wants you to understand about these 3 months, about why he's appearing specifically to March, June, and September souls right now. These months represent the cardinal points of spiritual transformation. March is the beginning, the initiation, the moment when new life pushes through frozen ground. June is the peak, the fullness, the moment when light reaches its maximum power. September is the harvest, the integration, the moment when you reap what you've sown and prepare for the next cycle. Together, these 3 months form a complete spiritual journey, a trinity of awakening, embodiment, and release. And if you were born in any of these months, Your soul chose that timing deliberately. You chose to incarnate during a portal, during a PowerPoint, during a moment when the potential for profound transformation is exponentially magnified. You are not like everyone else. You are not meant to live a normal, conventional, small life. You are here to break cycles, to shatter limitations, to show others what's possible when you have the courage to follow your soul's calling even when it makes no logical sense, even when everyone thinks you're crazy, even when you're terrified. But here's the challenge that comes with being a March, June, or September soul. Because you have access to such heightened spiritual power, you also face heightened spiritual resistance. The forces that want to keep humanity asleep, disconnected, disempowered, they target people like you. They whisper doubt in your ear from the moment you start to wake up. They place obstacles in your path the second you try to step into your purpose. They use the people closest to you, often unconsciously, to discourage you, to pull you back, to convince you to stay small and safe. And if you're not aware of this, if you don't understand that this resistance is actually confirmation that you're onto something real, something powerful, something that threatens the status quo, then you'll mistake the resistance for a sign that you're wrong, that you should give up, that you should go back to sleep. But Archangel Michael is here to tell you the opposite. The resistance isn't a stop sign, it's a confirmation sign. The harder it gets, the closer you are to breakthrough. The more people tell you it's impossible, the more certain you can be that it's exactly what you're meant to do. The spiritual rule is this: the things that scare you the most, the things that feel the most impossible, the things that would require the most courage and faith, those are always the things your soul came here to accomplish. Now I need to talk about money, because I know that for many of you watching this, one of the biggest blocks to following Archangel Michael's guidance is financial fear. You want to quit the job that's draining you, but you don't know how you'll pay rent. You want to start the business, write the book, move to the new city, but you don't have savings, you don't have a safety net. You don't see how it's practically possible, and so you stay stuck. You tell yourself you'll make the change when you have more money, when you're more secure, when the timing is better. But here's what Archangel Michael wants you to understand about divine timing and financial flow. When you make a soul-aligned choice, when you take a leap of faith in the direction of your true calling, the universe must support you. It's spiritual law. You cannot step into your purpose and be abandoned. You cannot honor your soul's path and be left without resources. What happens is this: the moment you commit, truly commit, not just in your mind but through actual action, doors open that didn't exist before. Opportunities appear out of nowhere. Money comes from unexpected sources. People show up offering help, connections, support. But none of that can happen while you're still sitting on the fence, while you're still waiting for permission, while you're still trying to figure out the how before you've committed to the what. The universe doesn't reward planning, it rewards faith. It doesn't respond to your 5-year strategic plan. It responds to your willingness to take the first step into the unknown. And I know that sounds impractical, maybe even irresponsible. But let me tell you what's actually impractical and irresponsible. Staying in a life that's killing your soul because you're afraid of temporary discomfort. Trading your one precious existence for a false sense of security that could disappear tomorrow anyway. Betraying your divine purpose because you don't trust that the same force that created galaxies and orchestrates the turning of planets can figure out how to pay your rent. That's what's actually insane. That's what future you will look back on with regret. Not the risks you took, but the risks you didn't take. Not the times you failed, but the times you never tried. Not the moments you looked foolish following your dreams, but the years you spent looking acceptable while dying inside. And here's something else Archangel Michael is revealing about financial abundance for March, June, and September souls. Your wealth is directly tied to your authenticity. The more you pretend, the more you compromise, the more you try to fit into systems and structures that weren't designed for your soul, the more you block your flow of abundance. Because money is energy, and energy flows where there's alignment, truth, integrity. When you're living a lie, when you're betraying yourself for a paycheck, you create energetic blocks that repel prosperity no matter how hard you work. But when you step into your truth, when you honor your gifts, when you do the work you came here to do, even if it's unconventional or poorly understood or doesn't fit into neat categories, you become a magnet for abundance. The right clients find you. The The right opportunities seek you out. Money flows to you because you're finally in alignment with the frequency of your soul's abundance code. And that code was written before you were born, and it can only be activated when you're being authentically, unapologetically, courageously you. Let me tell you about Diana, born in September, who understood this principle in the most profound way. Diana worked in corporate marketing for 15 years, climbing the ladder, earning more each year, checking all the boxes of conventional success. But she was miserable. Every morning felt like dying a little. Every meeting drained her life force. And she started having the dream, the one where Archangel Michael showed her a garden, wild and overgrown and absolutely bursting with life. And in the dream, he'd hand her seeds and say, "Plant these. This is your abundance." But it doesn't grow in concrete. Diana knew what it meant. She'd always felt called to work with plant medicine, to study herbalism, to help people heal through nature's wisdom. But it seemed ridiculous, impractical, like something she could maybe do as a hobby but never as a real career. How do you make money growing herbs? How do you explain to your family that you're leaving a six-figure salary to play in the dirt? So she hesitated. For 2 years, she had that dream every single week and did nothing about it until the company she worked for was acquired and her position was eliminated. Suddenly, the choice was made for her, or so it seemed. But really, her soul had orchestrated the entire thing because Diana needed to be pushed. She would never have jumped on her own. So the universe pushed her. And in that moment of forced transition, terrified and unemployed and facing an uncertain future, Diana decided to trust the dream. She used her severance to take herbalism courses, to buy land, to start building the garden she'd been shown. And for the first year, it was hard. She made almost no money. She questioned herself constantly. She wondered if she'd made a terrible mistake. But she kept going. She kept planting, kept learning, kept trusting. And slowly, something shifted. People started finding her. Word spread about her gardens, her remedies, her knowledge. She started teaching workshops that sold out immediately. She created products that people loved and told all their friends about. Within 3 years, Diana was making more than she'd made in corporate, but more importantly, she was wealthy in ways that had nothing to do with money. Wealthy in purpose, wealthy in joy, wealthy in the deep soul satisfaction of knowing she was doing exactly what she came here to do. And that's what Archangel Michael is offering you right now. Not just financial abundance, but true wealth, the wealth of alignment, the wealth of waking up excited about your day, the wealth of using your gifts in service of something meaningful, the wealth of looking in the mirror and recognizing yourself. Because you can have all the money in the world and still be spiritually bankrupt if you're living someone else's life, if you've traded your truth for security, if you silence your soul's song to fit into systems that were never meant to contain you. And you can have very little money, at least temporarily, and feel like the richest person alive if you're finally being who you came here to be. The money will come. The abundance will flow. But it can only come after you've made the choice, after you've taken the leap, after you've proven to the universe that you trust your path more than you fear the unknown. Now, let me address something that I know some of you are feeling right now. You're listening to all of this, and part of you is resonating deeply, recognizing truth, feeling that pull in your soul. But another part of you is resisting hard, coming up with every reason why this doesn't apply to you, why you can't make changes right now, why your situation is different, why you have to wait. And that resistance, that voice of doubt and fear and rationalization, that's not you. That's not your soul. That's the ego. That's the part of you that's terrified of change, terrified of the unknown, terrified of what you might lose if you step into your power. And the ego is very clever. It won't just say, "I'm scared, so let's stay stuck." It'll disguise itself as practicality, as responsibility, as wisdom. It'll say things like, "Now's not the right time. You need to be more prepared. What about your family? What will people think? You're too old. You're too young. You don't have enough experience. You don't have enough money. It's too risky. It's too late. It's too soon." And every single one of those statements is a lie designed to keep you small, to keep you safe, to keep you from claiming the life your soul is desperate to live. Archangel Michael can see through those lies. He can see the truth of who you are beneath all the fear and conditioning and programming. And he's asking you to see it too. He's asking you to recognize that the voice of limitation is not your voice. It's the voice of everyone who ever told you to be realistic, to lower your expectations, to settle for less than your soul desires. It's the voice of a world that benefits from your smallness, from your compliance, from your willingness to stay in boxes that make other people comfortable. But you didn't come here to make other people comfortable. You came here to set yourself free. And in setting yourself free, you give permission for others to do the same. That's the real work. That's the real service. Not martyring yourself. Not sacrificing your dreams on the altar of other people's fears, but being so unapologetically authentic that you become a living example of what's possible when courage triumphs over conditioning. If what I'm saying is stirring something deep in your soul, if you're feeling that mix of excitement and terror that always accompanies real truth, then write, "I am free" in the comments below, because that declaration breaks chains. It severs agreements you made with limitation. It announces to the spiritual realm that you're ready, that you're willing, that you're done playing small. And the moment you make that declaration, Archangel Michael and legions of angels rally around you, creating a protective field of light, clearing your path, removing obstacles, orchestrating synchronicities that will blow your mind. But they can only help you to the degree that you're willing to help yourself, to the degree that you're willing to meet faith with action, to the degree that you're willing to walk through the door even though you can't see what's on the other side. Now, I want to talk to you about something that Archangel Michael showed me in meditation last week, something so profound that it brought me to tears. He showed me the spiritual contracts, the soul agreements that March, June, and September souls made before incarnating into this lifetime. And what I saw was breathtaking. Each of you, before you took your first breath in this body, sat in council with your guides, your angels, your higher self, and you looked at the timeline of humanity at this exact moment in history that we're living through right now. And you saw the chaos, the confusion, the collective darkness, the mass amnesia, where so many humans have forgotten who they are and why they're here. And instead of saying, "That looks too hard, I'll wait for an easier time," you said, "Send me there. Send me into that darkness. I'll be a light. I'll remember. I'll wake up, and I'll help others wake up too." You volunteered for this. You chose this challenging, turbulent, transformative era because your soul knew it had the strength, the wisdom, the spiritual firepower to not just survive it, but to thrive in it, to use it as a catalyst for profound evolution. But here's what happens to most awakening souls. You come in with all this courage, all this purpose, all these gifts and missions encoded in your DNA. And then life happens. You experience rejection, betrayal, trauma, disappointment. You learn that being yourself isn't safe, that showing your light makes you a target, that speaking your truth gets you punished. So you adapt, you hide, you create a false self, a persona that keeps you safe, but also keeps you small. And you forget the counsel, you forget the contract, you forget that you chose this, that you signed up for this, that every challenge you face was actually preparing you for the moment when you'd finally remember and step into the mission you came here to fulfill. And that moment is now. That moment is what Archangel Michael is trying to wake you up to. The preparation phase is over. The waiting period has ended. The time of activation is upon you. And you can either answer the call or spend the rest of your life wondering what would have happened if you'd been brave enough to try. Let me tell you what Archangel Michael revealed about the specific missions for each birth month, because understanding your unique assignment will help you recognize the path forward. If you were born in March, your mission is to be a trailblazer, a pioneer, someone who goes first so others can follow. You're here to break generational curses, to be the one in your family who finally says no to dysfunction, who refuses to perpetuate trauma, who chooses healing even when it's lonely, even when it means being misunderstood or rejected by the very people you're trying to save. March souls are initiators. You start movements. You plant seeds that might not fully bloom in your lifetime, but your willingness to begin, to take that first brave step into unknown territory, creates ripples that will benefit generations after you. Your warning from Archangel Michael is this: stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for someone else to go first. Stop waiting until you feel ready or qualified or certain. You will never feel ready. That's not how pioneering works. You feel the call, you hear the whisper, you sense a direction, and you move. Messy, imperfect, scared out of your mind, but you move. And the path appears as you walk it, not before. If you were born in June, your mission is to be a truth teller, a revealer, someone who shines light into dark corners and refuses to participate in collective denial or comfortable lies. You're here to say the things everyone's thinking but nobody's saying. To ask the questions that make people uncomfortable but desperately need to be asked. To live with such radical authenticity that you give others permission to stop pretending. June souls are illuminators. You expose what's been hidden. You name what's been avoided. You bring consciousness to unconscious patterns, both personally and collectively. And this makes you dangerous to systems that rely on secrets, on silence, on keeping people confused and disempowered. Which is why you've likely experienced so much pushback in your life. Why people try to silence you, discredit you, make you doubt your own perceptions. Your warning from Archangel Michael is this. Your voice is your power. Your truth is your weapon. And the world needs what you have to say more than you need to be liked, more than you need to be accepted, more than you need to avoid conflict. Speak, even when your voice shakes, even when you're the only one saying it, even when it costs you relationships or opportunities. Speak, because your silence serves no one, least of all you. Now, I want to talk to you about something that Archangel Michael showed me in meditation last week, something so profound that it brought me to tears. He showed me the spiritual contracts, the soul agreements that March, June, and September souls made before incarnating into this lifetime. And what I saw was breathtaking. Each of you, before you took your first breath in this body, sat in council with your guides, your angels, your higher self, and you looked at the timeline of humanity, at this exact moment in history that we're living through right now. And you saw the chaos, the confusion, the collective darkness, the mass amnesia, where so many humans have forgotten who they are and why they're here. And instead of saying, that looks too hard, I'll wait for an easier time, you said, send me there, send me into that darkness. I'll be a light. I'll remember. I'll wake up, and I'll help others wake up too. You volunteered for this. You chose this challenging, turbulent, transformative era because your soul knew it had the strength, the wisdom, the spiritual firepower to not just survive it, but to thrive in it, to use it as a catalyst for profound evolution. But here's what happens to most awakening souls. You come in with all this courage, all this purpose, all these gifts and missions encoded in your DNA. And then life happens. You experience rejection, betrayal, trauma, disappointment. You learn that being yourself isn't safe, that showing your light makes you a target, that speaking your truth gets you punished. So you adapt, you hide, you create a false self, a persona that keeps you safe, but also keeps you small. And you forget the counsel, you forget the contract, you forget that you chose this, that you signed up for this, that every challenge you face was actually preparing you for the moment when you'd finally remember and step into the mission you came here to fulfill. And that moment is now. That moment is what Archangel Michael is trying to wake you up to. The preparation phase is over. The waiting period has ended. The time of activation is upon you. And you can either answer the call or spend the rest of your life wondering what would have happened if you'd been brave enough to try. Let me tell you what Archangel Michael revealed about the specific missions for each birth month, because understanding your unique assignment will help you recognize the path forward. If you were born in March, your mission is to be a trailblazer, a pioneer, someone who goes first so others can follow. You're here to break generational curses, to be the one in your family who finally says no to dysfunction, who refuses to perpetuate trauma, who chooses healing even when it's lonely, even when it means being misunderstood or rejected by the very people you're trying to save. March souls are initiators. You start movements. You plant seeds that might not fully bloom in your lifetime, but your willingness to begin, to take that first brave step into unknown territory, creates ripples that will benefit generations after you. Your warning from Archangel Michael is this. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for someone else to go first. Stop waiting until you feel ready or qualified or certain. You will never feel ready. That's not how pioneering works. You feel the call, you hear the whisper, you sense a direction, and you move. Messy, imperfect, scared out of your mind, but you move. And the path appears as you walk it, not before. If you were born in June, your mission is to be a truth teller, a revealer, someone who shines light into dark corners and refuses to participate in collective denial or comfortable lies. You're here to say the things everyone's thinking but nobody's saying. To ask the questions that make people uncomfortable but desperately need to be asked. To live with such radical authenticity that you give others permission to stop pretending. June souls are illuminators. You expose what's been hidden. You name what's been avoided. You bring consciousness to unconscious patterns, both personally and collectively. And this makes you dangerous to systems that rely on secrets, on silence, on keeping people confused and disempowered. Which is why you've likely experienced so much pushback in your life. Why people try to silence you, discredit you, make you doubt your own perceptions. Your warning from Archangel Michael is this: your voice is your power. Your truth is your weapon. And the world needs what you have to say more than you need to be liked, more than you need to be accepted, more than you need to avoid conflict. Speak, even when your voice shakes, even when you're the only one saying it, even when it costs you relationships or opportunities. Speak, because your silence serves no one, least of all you. If you were born in September, your mission is to be a transformer, an alchemist, someone who takes pain and turns it into medicine, who takes endings and turns them into new beginnings, who shows others that death is always followed by resurrection if you have the courage to surrender to the process. You're here to model radical transformation, to be living proof that it's never too late to change, to start over, to become someone completely different than who you've been. September souls are phoenixes. You've likely experienced more loss, more endings, more dark nights of the soul than most people can imagine. And every time you've risen, changed, yes, scarred, yes, but risen, stronger, wiser, more compassionate. And your warning from Archangel Michael is this: stop resisting the death of what needs to die. Stop trying to resurrect what's meant to stay buried. Stop clinging to old versions of yourself, old relationships, old dreams that have served their purpose and now need to be released so that something more aligned, more authentic, more soul true can be born. Your power lies in your ability to let go, to trust the void, to know with absolute certainty that you are not what you've lost. You are not what's ended. You are the eternal consciousness that experiences all forms and transcends them all. And here's where these three missions come together. Why Archangel Michael is calling all of you forward at the same time. The world needs pioneers right now. People who will take the first step even when the path isn't clear. The world needs truth tellers right now. People who will speak up even when it's unpopular, even when it's risky, even when they stand alone. And the world needs transformers right now. People who will show others that change is possible, that healing is possible, that you can survive the death of your old life and be reborn into something more beautiful than you ever imagined. March, June, and September souls, you are the spiritual special forces. You are the ones capable of doing what most cannot or will not do. And Archangel Michael is activating you now because the collective is at a tipping point. We're in the birth canal of a new era, and it's painful, it's chaotic, it's terrifying. But on the other side is a world that honors authenticity over conformity, that values purpose over profit, that recognizes the sacred in every soul. And that world can only be born if enough people have the courage to midwife it into existence. That's you. That's your job. That's why you're here. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen if you ignore this warning, if you dismiss this message, if you go back to your comfortable, soul-killing routine and pretend you never heard Archangel Michael's call. The first thing that will happen is regret. Deep, bone-level regret that sits in your chest like a stone and gets heavier with each passing year. You'll look back on this moment, this exact moment when you had a choice, when you could have said yes to your soul's calling, and you'll wonder what your life would have been if you'd been brave enough to leap. The second thing that will happen is resentment. You'll start to resent the people you sacrificed your dreams for, your partner who you stayed with even though the relationship was dead because you were afraid of being alone, your parents whose approval you chased even though it meant betraying yourself. your friends who kept you small because your growth threatened their comfort. And that resentment will poison everything, turning you bitter and hard and closed off from the very love and connection you were trying to preserve. The third thing that will happen is a gradual numbing. You'll stop feeling as much, stop dreaming as much, stop hoping as much. Because hope is painful when you know you're not honoring it with action. So you'll shut down. You'll convince yourself that you're being mature, practical, realistic. But really, you're just dying slowly, killing your soul one compromise at a time. And the fourth thing, the worst thing, is that you'll pass this pattern on. Your children will watch you settle. Your friends will watch you shrink. And they'll learn that this is how life works. That you don't actually go for your dreams. You just talk about them until they fade away. You don't actually trust your intuition. You override it in favor of logic and fear. You don't actually honor your soul's calling. You put it on hold indefinitely until one day you realize it's too late. You're too old. You've missed your window. And the cycle continues. Another generation of souls who came here with fire and purpose, reduced to embers of what they could have been. But it doesn't have to be that way. That's not your destiny unless you choose it. And choice is the key word here. Because Archangel Michael cannot make you do anything. The angels, the guides, the entire spiritual realm, they can only support the choices you make with your free will. They can send signs, they can orchestrate synchronicities, they can bring you to the edge of the door, but you have to walk through it. You have to be the one who says yes. You have to be the one who takes action. And I'm telling you right now, as clearly as I possibly can, that if you're still watching this video, if you've made it this far, it's because some part of you, the deepest, truest part, is ready to say yes. Might be terrified, might be doubting, might be coming up with 1,000 reasons why you can't. But it's ready, and all it needs is for you to give it permission, to stop overriding it with logic, to stop silencing it with fear, to stop betraying it for the comfort of others. Give your soul permission to lead. Give your intuition permission to guide. Give your dreams permission to become reality. And here's what Archangel Michael wants you to know about the support that's available to you once you make that choice. You will not be alone. You might feel alone at first. The old support systems might fall away. The people who knew the old you might not understand the new you. But as you step into alignment, as you start living from your soul, instead of your fear, you will attract your soul family. The people who get you without explanation. The mentors who show up exactly when you need them. The opportunities that feel divinely timed. The resources that appear out of nowhere. This is how the universe works. It doesn't give you everything up front. It doesn't show you the whole plan. It waits for you to demonstrate faith through action, and then it meets you, supports you, carries you when you need carrying, and challenges you when you need challenging. But you have to take the first step. You have to prove that you're serious, that this isn't just another fantasy you'll think about but never act on. And the proof is in the doing, not the planning, not the researching, not the waiting for the perfect moment, but the actual doing. Let me tell you about Carlos, born in June, who took that first step even though every logical part of his brain screamed at him to stop. Carlos was a banker, successful by every conventional measure, but spiritually dead. And he kept having the dream where Archangel Michael would show him a school, children learning but not the typical classroom setting. It was outdoor, natural, magical. And Archangel Michael would say, "This is what the future of education looks like, and you're going to build it." Carlos had no background in education, no teaching credentials, no idea how to even start. But the dream was so persistent, so vivid, that he couldn't ignore it. So he did something that seemed insane to everyone who knew him. He quit his banking job, sold his expensive condo, moved to a small rural town, and started volunteering at the local school. Just showing up, just being present, just learning. And at first, nothing happened. Months went by. He was making no money, living off savings, wondering if he'd made a catastrophic mistake. But he kept showing up, kept volunteering, kept paying attention to what the children needed, that they weren't getting in traditional education. And then one day, a wealthy landowner in the town approached him, said she'd been watching him with the kids, saw something special, and wanted to donate 10 acres of her property for an experimental school if Carlos would run it. Just like that. Out of nowhere. Divine orchestration. Today, 5 years later, Carlos runs a thriving alternative school that's become a model for nature-based, child-led education. Families move to the area specifically to enroll their children. Educators visit from around the world to study his methods. And Carlos will tell you, with absolute conviction, that none of it would have happened if he hadn't taken that first illogical, terrifying, faith-based step. The universe didn't show him the landowner before he quit his job. It didn't prove to him that everything would work out. It waited for him to prove his faith, and then it delivered beyond his wildest imagination. That's what's waiting for you on the other side of this choice. A life beyond your current imagination. Because right now, you're imagining from limitation, from fear, from the belief that you have to do everything yourself, that resources are scarce, that opportunities are rare. But when you align with your soul's path, when you say yes to your divine assignment, you enter into a flow of grace where the universe conspires in your favor, where doors open that you didn't even know existed, where people appear with exactly what you need exactly when you need it, where money flows in unexpected ways, where obstacles that seemed insurmountable just dissolve. Not because life becomes easy, but because you're finally swimming with the current instead of against it. You're finally working with your soul's design instead of fighting it. And Archangel Michael wants you to understand something crucial about timing. This warning isn't random. It's not coming to you at just any moment. We are in a powerful celestial window right now, astrologically, energetically, spiritually. The veils are thin. The portals are open. The cosmic support for massive transformation is stronger than it's been in decades. But these windows don't stay open forever. There's a closing point, a moment when the energy shifts, when the opportunity passes, when what was possible becomes much harder. And for March, June, and September souls, that closing point is approaching fast. You have weeks, not months, maybe even days, not weeks, to make the choice, to take the action, to step through the door that Archangel Michael is holding open for you. And I know that creates pressure. I know that might make you feel rushed or panicked. But pressure is sometimes necessary, because without it, we procrastinate indefinitely. We keep waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. We keep preparing instead of doing. And the truth is, you're as ready as you're ever going to be. You have everything you need right now to take the next step, not the final step, not the whole journey, just the very next step. And that's all that's required. So let me ask you directly, what is that next step for you? What is the one thing that your soul is screaming at you to do that you keep pushing aside, keep rationalizing away, keep promising yourself you'll do later? Is it ending a relationship that's been over for years, but you haven't had the courage to admit it? Is it starting the business, writing the book, creating the art that's been living inside you unexpressed? Is it moving to the new city, changing careers, going back to school, taking the trip, having the conversation? Whatever it is, you know what it is. You've always known. And Archangel Michael is asking you right now, in this moment, will you do it? Will you finally honor what your soul is calling you toward? Or will you close this video, go back to your comfortable misery, and spend the rest of your life wondering what could have been? The choice is yours. It's always been yours. And whatever you choose, the universe will support. But only one choice leads to the life you came here to live. Only one choice honors the contract you made before birth. Only one choice allows you to fulfill your mission and experience the joy, the peace, the deep soul satisfaction of knowing you didn't waste this precious incarnation. Now, in these final moments together, I want to give you a practice, something concrete you can do today to activate Archangel Michael's protection and guidance as you move forward on this path. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and take 3 deep breaths. With each exhale, release tension, doubt, fear. With each inhale, draw in courage, clarity, strength. And then, in your mind's eye, call upon Archangel Michael. See him standing before you, wings spread wide, sword of light blazing with celestial fire. Feel his presence, powerful yet compassionate, fierce yet loving, and speak to him either out loud or silently. Tell him your fears. Tell him your doubts. Tell him everything that's keeping you stuck. everything that's blocking you from saying yes to your soul's calling. Hold nothing back. Be completely honest. And then, when you've shared everything, ask him for help. Say, Archangel Michael, I am ready to step into my purpose. I am ready to honor my soul's calling. I am ready to fulfill the mission I came here for. Please cut the cords of fear. Please remove the blocks. Please clear my path. Please protect me as I walk into the unknown. Please give me the courage to do what I know I must do. I trust you. I trust myself. I trust the divine plan. Thank you. And so it is. And then sit in silence for a few moments. Notice what you feel. Notice what you sense. You might feel a warmth spreading through your body. You might see colors or symbols behind your closed eyes. You might hear words or receive insights. Or you might feel nothing at all, and that's okay too. Because whether you consciously perceive it or not, the work is being done. The energy is shifting. The support is being activated. And over the coming days and weeks, you'll start to notice the evidence, the signs, the synchronicities, the opportunities, the people, the resources. Everything you need to take the next step will start appearing in your life, often in ways you never could have predicted or planned. Your job is simply to stay open, stay aware, and take action when the moment presents itself. Don't overthink it. Don't question it. Don't wait for more proof. Just act, trust, move forward. And remember this, always, Archangel Michael chose you just as much as you're choosing to listen to him. Out of all the souls on this planet, out of billions of people, he came to you. He appeared in your dreams. He led you to this message. He's standing with you right now as you make this choice. You are seen. You are known. You are loved beyond measure. And you are absolutely capable of everything your soul is calling you to do. The fear is lying. The doubt is lying. The voice that says you're not enough, not ready, not qualified, that voice is lying. The truth is that you are a divine being having a human experience. You're made of the same cosmic energy that creates stars and orchestrates galaxies. You contain infinite potential, infinite possibility, infinite power. And the only thing standing between you and the life you came here to live is the choice. The choice to believe in yourself as much as the universe believes in you. The choice to honor your soul as much as you've honored everyone else's expectations. The choice to be brave, just for a moment, just for one step, just long enough to see what happens when you finally say yes. So I'm going to leave you with this final message from Archangel Michael. The message he asked me to deliver to every person who watches this video, regardless of your birth month, regardless of your circumstances, regardless of anything. He says, you are not broken. You are breaking open. You are not lost. You are finding yourself. You are not failing. You are learning. Every moment of pain, every experience of loss, every dark night of the soul has been preparing you for this moment of choice. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing has been in vain. It all matters. It all counts. And you are standing at the threshold of the most magnificent chapter of your life. All you have to do is walk through the door. I am here. I have always been here. I will always be here. You are never alone. You are never without support. You are never beyond hope. Trust yourself. Trust the process. Trust the divine timing of your life. And know that I am with you every step of the way, celebrating your courage, honoring your journey, loving you unconditionally. Now go and be who you came here to be. The world is waiting for you. If this message has touched your soul, if you feel the call of Archangel Michael resonating in your heart, subscribe to this channel now because the next video is going to reveal something even deeper, something that will help you understand the specific blocks that have been keeping you from your destiny and exactly how to remove them. The angels have more to share with you, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Click subscribe, turn on notifications, and know that you are exactly where you need to be, receiving exactly what your soul needs to hear. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for having the courage to consider that maybe, just maybe, your life is meant to be so much more than what you've settled for. Archangel Michael is with you. I am with you. And together, we're going to help you remember who you truly are and why you came here. Until next time, may you walk in light. May you trust